We're at the juvenile court on Graham Hill in Santa Cruz County with Deborah, and Deborah is a close friend of Lisa Ann. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, how are you? Also, her choice in wanting to raise her child in a multicultural society or setting, however you might put that, they have also said is undesirable, and that's why they have taken her child.
Do you know anything about her older son and the situation regarding them having removed him from her?
What I know of that situation is that a person who has some legal claim to Lisa herself as her father, who is not her biological father, is in a more powerful position than she is based on the amount of money that he has and his position in society. And for whatever reasons, of which I'm not sure, they detain that child and they are trying to give custody to this supposed father of hers.
Now, and is she fighting that particular case as well?
That is a case that has been handled, I believe, through Sutter County. And that case at this moment, the standing of it, I believe, is that they have attested to the fact that Lisa is capable, sane, loving, caring mother. However, for whatever legal hold-ups that they have managed to continue to draw out, they still have that child in custody in the foster care of her supposed father.
Now, since you know Lisa Ann personally, what kind of a mother is she?
In the times that I've seen her with Star, you can tell the bond. You can see when a child is extremely happy. You can tell very easily when a child is content. They don't cry, and they, have some concentration even at a young age. And that would definitely be the case with Star. It was one of those children that when you look at, they just beam light, and they're just, extremely happy. Since the time that they've taken Star, Lisa herself, I haven't seen her child, obviously. Lisa has, been completely enraged, and very rightfully so, and has been trying to coordinate people like yourself and myself who, can listen to her and give her the time that she deserves and try to help in her situation. She has not been, just sitting around allowing this injustice to occur.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
You're quite welcome.
We're up here at the juvenile court where Lisa Ann and her attorney Kate Wells have just come out of a hearing from Judge Black. What was the result of the hearing, Lisa Ann?
The result is that in complete lack of evidence that there is anything that has ever been wrong with my child, Judge Black became angry and ruled that my daughter be detained, and at least for 6 months while they provide visits with the grandparents and while they provide me with services that have no relation to me, and keep my daughter away from me in foster care where she is not doing well. My daughter does not smile.
What was the reason that they said that Judge Black put forth to have you continue to be separated from your daughter?
He could not come up with a reason. He is stating psychologist reports that are so blatantly false that anyone reading them would discredit these reports immediately. He is stating that based on issues that were already gone over by the Superior Court of California in Sutter County, he's stating that their ruling means nothing. They're stating that he's going to re-rule in this case and say that, according to him, regardless of that they took my child in perfect health and perfectly happy, he's stating that he has extreme reason to believe that my daughter would be in danger.
But did he state what those reasons were?
No. They're saying based on that they have my other child, who they've been illegally proceeding to adopt since he was at most 5 months old, to my so-called father, that based on that they have my son, that they should have my daughter.
So it was kind of a precedent thing that because they had taken your son away, that they felt that was ample reason to also take your daughter away?
Yes, and my son was taken from birth at the hospital. I've never had a chance to be with my son. They're stating that there was abuse and neglect with my son. There was never abuse and neglect with my son. I've never been with my son.
So what's your next step, Lisa Ann?
My next step is to get in touch with the superiors. There is someone higher than Judge Black. There is someone higher than Commissioner Cloud, higher than Judge Kelsey. These are the three judges that I know to rule completely illegally in these cases. Somebody resides over them, and
Oh, and
these
who-
are the people
who is
I'm
this-
getting in touch with.
Who was the psychologist who wrote this really bizarre report about you?
Her name is Melissa Behringer, and apparently a lot of people have dealt with Melissa Behringer in the past. She has written up bizarre reports on anyone that she wants to. She has taken children away for plenty of reasons that don't exist.
And what did she say in her evaluation of you?
I apparently did too well on the test results, which proved that I was overly alert and paranoid and psychotic, that I did too well on their tests.
Overly alert? Is that
Overly alert.
is that a bad thing?
I don't think there is such a thing as overly alert when you're dealing with people breaking the law. Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa Ann.
All right. Thank you. God bless you.
We're with Kate Wells, Lisa Ann's attorney, and you just came out of the hearing with Judge Black. What evidence did Judge Black base his ruling on of abuse or neglect on the part of Lisa Ann with her daughter Star?
There was no evidence of abuse or neglect, and I specifically asked him as he made his ruling if he would please make any kind of a finding that there had been any abuse whatsoever of this child. And he got up, picked up his papers, and turned his back to me and walked out of the courtroom. There was no evidence of any kind of abuse, and in fact, the court that should be hearing this case, or the court that heard this case, which is Sutter County Court, dismissed this petition against Lisa Ann and reunited her with her daughter. They are in a position to know better than the courts here. No incident has happened since that incident. There is nothing that they have literally kidnapped this baby. They have snatched a 4-month-old baby from her mother's arms, based on objections to her lifestyle, and only objections to her lifestyle. The state has decided that they know better how to raise children than the parent, obviously, and whether they want us to be a little automatons, all walking around to the same little beat and doing the same things. This is the most outrageous case I've ever seen, and I'm frightened. I'm frightened for Lisa Ann, and I'm also frightened for all of us, for all parents, for all of us who care about our freedom, and who care about our ability to lead our lives without the government sticking their nose in our business where it doesn't belong.
Yeah, we count on these courts and authorities and lawyers. They're specifically designed, and the purpose is to protect the children, and yet we have these sorts of cases where.
Well, as far as I can see, what's happened to the system is that obviously everyone hates child abuse, so they pick on this area and they say, well, let's give the Child Protective Services unlimited power to intervene in these cases. And as a result of that unlimited power that they have, basically the power to say you're guilty until proven innocent, has turned many of these CPS workers into gods who have ultimate power and control over these people's lives. This is not the first case I've seen. This is the most blatant case I've seen, but it happens every day. I would be willing to guess that it's happening in every county in the state. The fact that there was a good worker in Sutter County who did return Star to her mother shows that it's maybe not the system, but the people in the system that are causing the problems. But I'm not sure if it's not endemic to the system as well.
I spoke to Commissioner Cloud earlier today, and she said that in 1989 there was a major rule change in how CPS handles court cases or something. Are you aware of any legislative changes that happened in '89 that have affected these cases?
No, I'm not aware of any, but all I know is that they have used this pretext of confidentiality to run the entire railroading in this case and in probably many other cases to do it behind closed doors. No jury trial is allowed, and no outsider is allowed in the courtroom. Now, I believe in the privilege of confidentiality for the parent if in fact the parent wants the confidentiality, but to me that is a personal decision on the part of the parent, and it shouldn't be a statutory thing that they are not allowed to have the public there to see what's happening. And I think that this is just another way that the system has enabled them to do what they have done, what they've done in this case.
Now you asked to tape record the proceedings?
We asked to tape record the proceedings, and we were denied the right to tape record, and the reason for the denial was ostensibly that there was a court reporter there, and we could get a transcript of the process. Of course, see, I'm even leery of the court. I have had many transcripts come from trials that don't even resemble what really went on in court. So I'm even suspicious of that. But I would hate to see what Melissa Beranger or Kathleen Taylor might have to say about me for being probably paranoid, delusional, and all of the other things that she's called Lisa Ann, and she's called these things. She said these things about her because she scored perfect scores on her math and block tests, which make her obviously psychotic and paranoidly over alert. That was her
Assessment.
her conclusion from the fact that she scored well on the test. In fact, I asked Judge Black, I said, well, I suppose, because he put a lot of weight on these tests, and so I asked Judge Black, I said, well, is it true that if she had scored poorly on these exams that she would have come out better? And he says, well, no, this isn't a pass-fail thing. Yeah. So he said, well, it's clear that from the final result that they said she's not psychotic. So there's nothing wrong with the report. Now another judge.
Well, I guess that's good. They're not going to incarcerate Lisa Ann forever.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't draw any conclusions there. I'd never draw any conclusions there. I've forgotten what else I was going to say. I'm very upset about what happened today, and I'm not sure what my next step is, because this is not something I do on a regular basis. I'm normally suing the government after this happens, and after we've had a good result. So what the next step is, I'm not sure. There has to be some appeal process, and you can bet that we're going to do it.
Maybe a judicial review board?
Well, I would imagine it's probably an issue where we go up to the 6th Appellate District, which we sit with probably a group of 3 good old boys who are friends with Judge Black, and we have almost as little chance as we had here of really being successful. I think that the system is right here. I would like to know how many times they have not sustained the allegations in a petition, and not gone along with Child Protective Services. I would be willing to bet it's almost never. And it would be something that would be very interesting for you guys to find out if, in fact, they have ever gone against CPS's recommendation.
Thank you very much. Kate Wells.